Hello, folks. Eagle Spitz here from Punk for Homeless on Desert Island Vids. Today I've got a special guest, Dan Abrams. Hello, Dan. How you doing, mate?
Hiya, how you doing? All right.
Yeah, good. Tell us a little bit about yourself, mate. What are you up to and stuff?
Well, I play in punk band Before They Are Hanged, which are based in Derbyshire. We've been going about 2 years now, and we were in the middle of recording our debut album when the lockdown hit, so that put a kibosh on things, really. But we managed to get a few tracks out and sort of like we released a few vids and things like that. And we hoping to get back to the studio in sort of September time, all being well. But you never know in these weird times we're living in, do you?
No, we're activists as my band. We're in a similar predicament. We're just about finished the album and then lockdown happened. So that was our debut album too. But yeah, a lot of us in the same boat, mate.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Before They Are Hanged, your inspirations and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What kind of music you chuck out to us?
Yeah, well, there's 4 of us in the band. Myself, Simon, the vocalist, Ben, who's on drums, and Trevor, who's our bass player. And we all sort of like come from different places musically, slightly. I mean, we're all into punk rock, but different types, I guess. So I'm into bands like sort of like American hardcore and punk rock like Bad Religion, No Effects, that sort of epitaph and type of stuff. Trevor's actually, he is American, he's from Cincinnati, and he's into a lot of sort of English, sort of 80s punk bands like GBH and Discharge, Exploiters, that sort of stuff. And then Simon is different again, really. He's a massive Nirvana fan and sort of like the grunge side of things. And then Ben's more of a metalhead, really. So he's really into that sort of stuff. So it's a real mix musically, really. But, you know, when we get together, we sort of make the noise that we make and it sort of comes out right at the other end.
Cool. Brilliant. And with the name, They May Be Hanged, I mean, obviously that's taken from a fantasy book.
That's right, yeah. So a couple of us are really into sort of like sci-fi and fantasy. Before They Are Hanged is the name of a book by Joe Abercrombie, which is, second in a series of books. So it sort of came from that, really. It's just an idea. We just like the sound of it, and just sort of stuck, really. We couldn't really think of anything better to call ourselves.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
Usually how people choose the band names, isn't it?
Yeah. No, yeah, it's cool. It fits.
Yeah, we like it, and other people seem to like it. So yeah, it's pretty good, really.
Brilliant. So, was talking about your taste of music. Shall we have your first track?
Yeah, can do. Yeah. Which one's the first one? Is it the Bad Religion track?
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah. So it's Wrong Way Kids by Bad Religion, which is sort of I guess I've been a Bad Religion fan for about 30 years now. So one of my favourite bands, seen them numerous times. They never disappoint. And this song is really, it's a song about misfits, really. So anyone who's into punk is really, most people, felt sort of like separate from society at some part of their lives, really. So it sort of talks about that. And I like the video because it's real retrospective from sort of like their early days through to the modern day. So it's really good video.
Excellent. So we'll be watching that, and you can find out the links, folks, or you can watch a full-length version of that on YouTube. And
even though they're misfits, there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
were something more than friends, navigating a sprawl without end. Did you ever want to take bad advice? Did you ever want to go and take it twice? Do you remember when the world began to put up its thorny fence? Right, you are my friend, so what's wrong with them? They'd go the wrong way, kid. Singing, whoa, whoa, whoa. Singing, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, and they call them the wrong way, kid.
Someday you'll be old enough to look at this, and you'll be very ashamed that your father was a famous punk rocker.
The kids today are gone away, petition in the dust, with no one to look up to, because they're looking up to us. Just misfit melancholy dregs, all lost in the mall, wanderers to nowhere at all. Did you ever want to take bad advice? Did you ever want to go and take it twice? Do you remember when the world began to put up its thorny fence? Right, you are my friend, so what's wrong with them? They go the wrong way, kids. Singing, whoa, whoa, whoa. Singing, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, and they call them the wrong way, kids.
I've changed a lot, you know, and I don't think that my life is ever going to stagnate, and I don't think anyone who's honest with himself will say that theirs will either.
So, what do you do when you're not playing the guitar, man?
Oh God. What, for a living, you mean?
Yeah, or anything really. Just
Yeah.
banter.
Yeah. Well, we sort of like get together and play when we can, really. But we, you know, most of us got families and stuff like that, so you know, we have to sort of like work around that. The rest of the time, I'm a professional environmentalist, so that's what I do. Which sort of fits the music to a certain extent, because you know some of the issues that we talk about are linked to what's going on in the world and things like that. And we're not the most politically charged band. We tend to, you know, speak more from sort of like personal experience stuff, but obviously things that happen in our lives sort of like colour what we play about and how we play. So it's sort of you know, that sort of like works its way into the music, I guess.
What does being a professional environmentalist involve then, mate?
Well, I'm an ecologist, so usually a plant ecologist. So you know, do a lot of sort of like vegetation surveys and create nature reserves and all that sort of stuff. So and do quite a bit of work with protected species and things like that. So
and would that be in Derbyshire or?
Yeah, that's in the Peak District. Yeah. So I work entirely in the Peak District. Yeah.
Excellent. I used to live right next to a nature reserve.
Right.
Just outside Boston in Lincolnshire.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which was brilliantly quiet during the winter months, but when twitching and everything the season, it used to get flooded. So
yeah.
But yeah, the environment's not too good at the moment.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? It's sort of like you know, particularly this government is you know, seems to be hell-bent set against it. But I think what has been, you know, really exciting thing has been sort of like the Extinction Rebellion movement.
Yeah.
And kids getting involved in that sort of thing, because you know, I think the general consensus was that, you know, that sort of generation wasn't particularly bothered about the environment, but climate change has really pushed that up the agenda, and it's great to see sort of those protest movements going forward and happening pretty much on a daily basis now.
Yeah, I mean, Extinction Rebellion are great because they're sort of totally across the board, aren't they? I remember the time when I was a youngster. The only people you see sort of involved in sort of any social and justice issues and demonstrations and stuff were sort of punky type people or elder ladies. But I think it's totally across the board, and I think that's opening up.
Yeah. Well, it's completely, if you go to any of those rallies, it's sort of like completely, there are a lot of young people there, obviously, but, it's completely multi-generational, really. So, you just hope that something good comes out of it, really.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of time for him. We had an interview with a guy, one of his interviews a few months ago, when early days of lockdown, which seems like years ago now.
Yeah.
So whereabouts have you been playing? Because you say you've been playing a couple of years.
Yeah. So we've been going about 2 years. So we've been playing mostly in sort of Nottingham, Derby, Sheffield, a little bit in Leicestershire, and then last year we played at one of the fringe events of Rebellion in Blackpool. So that was like the furthest afield we've been so far, really. But we were hoping to sort of like spread our wings this year, but obviously that never happened.
No,
so
I mean,
we'll have to wait until things get back to some sort of normality, whenever that is.
Yeah. The new normality sounds very scary to me.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of uncertainty about, particularly, live performance and whether it'll ever get back to normal, really, in the short term. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Well, while we're getting depressed about the lack of live music, what's your next track? We'll have a look at that.
So second track is Descendents track. So Descendents are a band which they've been going since late 70s, so they've been around forever, really. And they're a band that I had been trying to see for about 15 years, and it just never happened because they didn't come over to the UK very often, and every time they did, I was always doing something else, so I couldn't go. But I did manage to go and see them for the first time, actually, in London last August, I think it was, which was fantastic. So so I mean they're another band which sort of like one of my staples, I guess. And they don't they produce an album like every 10 years or something, so they're not that prolific, but when they do, it's a pretty good event. So Descendants with Smile, I think it is.
Okay. Any particular reason you chose Smile? Yeah, happy sort.
No, I just like the video because it's really stripped back and sort of like just them in the studio, really. So it's off their newest album, which is probably not that new anymore, so 4 or 5 years ago. But I just like it, and the fact that they're still doing it at that age means there's hope for us lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think they're younger than me, possibly.
I can see your pain has left you locked up, beat down. I can see the fear has made you desperate, burn out. Too much regret and shattered hope. Spent too on a game well played.
So, I think you played 2 Punk Homeless gigs, haven't you, so far?
We've done well. We played at the Bay Horse in Sheffield, and we were going to play at
Sumac.
Yeah, and then again at the Bay Horse, but I think both those got cancelled because of COVID, obviously. So so we would have done 3, but yeah, we've only done the 1 so far.
Okay, that was at an all-day or something, wasn't it? I can't remember. Sorry.
That wasn't the all day. That was just an evening. I think it was the first gig at the Bay Horse actually that he did.
Oh right, yeah.
So it was a good night. That had Timmy
nice little venue.
doing his stuff, and
What's that? Sorry.
People. There was Timmy Trampeta doing his stuff, and various other people on. So it was a good night.
Yeah, he's an experience, isn't he? Tim Trampeta.
Yeah.
So you're saying your first album's nearly finished?
Well, we've done 5 tracks basically, so that's probably about a third of the album, I guess. So we're hoping to get back there September and finish it off really. But yeah, it should be really good. I mean, hoping to release it on vinyl as well if we get the money together. So
expensive process.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm a real vinyl junkie. I love my vinyl, but
yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, it's my ambition to.
These days, aren't they? Yeah.
My ambition to do our album on vinyl, but fun. Yeah. See if we have the funds, because I think people are going to get short of dosh, aren't they, as we continue on lockdown? Or
that's right. Yeah. So I'll see how that goes, but if not, we'll just release it digitally on our Bandcamp page. So we've got all our stuff on there at the moment, which is all free to download. So we don't charge for our digital stuff really. We just get it out there, and if people like to download it and listen to it, then that's cool.
Yeah, it's a good way of getting your stuff out there and people picking up on you. I think I'm going to want to check out that band.
Yeah.
So what's your third song, mate? Then we'll get on to talking about your new video, I think. Yeah.
So third song is actually, I mean, I don't listen to as much new music as I should really, but this is probably not that new anymore. But there's a band called Nightbirds, who I think they've been going about 10 years, but they basically, I was just listening to YouTube one day, and it just sort of like came up, and I thought, what's this? I'll listen to this. And I was just really blown away, really, because they sound like, as if Dead Kennedys never happened, and that, if Dead Kennedys sort of like formed for the first time today, that's what Nightbirds sound like. So they're quite retro, I suppose, in that respect, but they're only sort of young lads. But yeah, it's just really, really good hardcore, American hardcore, really. So I think it's called Live and Die in Suburbia, the track. Check it out.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Where we all know
So you've been so you've only recorded a handful of songs so far, but you put out a couple of videos. Is that right?
Yeah. We've actually, we've been pretty prolific in lockdown, really, despite the fact we can't get out there and play and stuff like that. So we recorded 5 songs before lockdown hit, and we've released 2 videos. So one for a track called "Story of My Life," and then another one which is "Ground Down," which is the most recent one. Which we've sort of like pushed as our big video, I guess. And we've stuck it on Facebook, and it's had 3,000 views nearly, so it's it's done pretty well.
Oh, fantastic! Did you do a video yourselves?
No, it was done by a guy called Brian Damage, who's is the bassist in another band, Sheffield band called This Is Not a Drill. They might have played one of your gigs, actually.
Yeah, I think I played a couple, and they're a great band.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, they are a good band. Yeah, so they've got an album out called "Fight Like a Girl," which is a really great album as well. So yeah, he basically did it for nothing. Just he just offered to do it, and he's done a really cracking job for us. Exactly, sort of like just matched what we were looking for.
Really? Yeah.
So that song really is just it's like a statement of the world at the moment, really. So it's got references to BLM and Extinction Rebellion, and obviously Boris and Trump, and all the crap stuff that's happening at the time. It's just bundled together in the video. So it really catches the mood of the song, really.
I think This Is Not a Drill are on the same Punk Famous compilation as you guys.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
I think.
And of course, there's some expert cameos in that video as well.
Oh yeah, I noticed some eye candy in there, mate.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for being on, Dan.
That's all right. No problems. Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say about your band or else?
Well, the only thing is, I suppose, just look out for our album when it comes out. It's going to be called Welcome to England, which is obviously an ironic title because, England's not so much a welcoming place at the moment. So that sort of like, colours the mood of the album, really. So all those tracks are going to be on there. There's going to be about 15 tracks. It's going to be a cracker.
Brilliant. Nice one. And we're going to leave the show with a Before They Are Hanged video, which is entitled
Ground Down.
Ground Down, that's it. Ground down to dust. Fantastic, man. Well, thanks for your time. And folks, look, check out They May Be Hanged. You check out their stuff and go and see them. Great band. Played Punk Famous gig once.
We'll have to do another one.
Yeah, you will do. Yeah, will do. Goodness knows when that'll be, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
And just hope because I know there's small venues already closing down, but I'm just hoping we've got venues at the end of it. So.
Yeah, hope so. Yeah, really important.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
And you take care. Have a good weekend, mate.
Cheers.
Bye-bye, mate.
See ya.